Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and a warm welcome, or a chilly welcome in Gel's case, to the Red and Blue Review. I'll do the gags, okay? I'll do the gags. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Red and Blue Review. My name is Nick Philpott. I'm your host this evening. And look, on time, on schedule, they're all here. All my boys are waiting to say hello to you. Ian Lyons, good evening.
Good evening. How is everyone?
It's working. Jel Holyoke, Benny from Crossroads. Good evening. No, I'm not listening to you. I'm not falling. I can hear you breathing and not your Wally. And finally, as always, welcome back to Grant Saunders. How are you, mate? Yeah. Do you want to do it the other way or the real way? Ladies and gentlemen, I've decided that we are going to do a normal show, but with a bit of a twist. I don't think most of the Palace fan base want to hear us trawl through the Burnley game, trawl through the Newcastle game. I've actually got it summed up for you. Hang on, I'm just going to refer to my notes. Yeah, it said it was shit, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so there you go. But before we go into the show, if you are watching this, please like and share the video. Please hit the share button right now and start your own watch party. Okay, if you are, and don't forget, you can also find us on Twitter, YouTube at any time to either watch, listen, or download this podcast, or ask your Alexa play the latest Red and Blue Review podcast, or simply go to redandbluereview.co.uk. Let's have a conversation because, boys, that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to have a conversation, and we know what the subject is. Okay. We are the only podcast you can watch. Before we start, guys, and I'm going to lead the way, and eventually I will shut up, I promise you. Good, and whoever's watching out there in Facebook land, I can see there's already 56 of you. Welcome to the show. I would like to kick off the show, if you don't mind, boys, by congratulating Will Zaha, okay, and his partner Paige on the birth of their baby, Saint Lawrence Zaha. Welcome to the world. Saint Lawrence Zaha, congratulations, Wilf and Paige, on the birth of your new son. I look forward to seeing you, Saint Lawrence, in the red and blue in the future. And nice news to kick the show off, boys, isn't it?
Or an Arsenal shirt.
Or an Arsenal.
or a PSG one.
Right, I'm just sorting out my comments. Who's out there? George out there, Luke's out there, Jerry, James, Martin. I can see Claire Davis, Paul Holden, Fingers Feeney. Hello, Sean. Boys, give Sean a wave, please. Who else we got out there? Simon Beans, David's out there. Rashi, I can't say your surname. I'm so sorry. Can anybody else have a go at that?
Sunak, isn't it?
No, it's no, not Rashi Sunak. No. Steve Tween, I can see you all. I can see it. Give your comments because we're going to do it. Look, we dropped 6 points, okay, in 5 days. 2 games from last season that we did win. This year, we didn't win. Boys, we're going to start off the show. Very easy question. How are we going to make up those points and who against? Because I honestly can't see us doing it. Ian, I'm going to kick off with you. Six, Monday to Friday, we dropped 6 points and our world's turned upside down. We've gone from the top half of the league down to the just above the relegation zone.
How are we going to make up those points? Well, the only way we're going to make points up is by winning games we weren't expected to win, because we're losing those that we're expected to win. So scoring goals, I think that's the only way we can make the points up.
Okay, so in that case, then why did we leave our two main strikers on the bench and play Schlupp up top on Friday then?
Well, I mean, you've got to give the other guys a chance first, because otherwise I will just dominate this. Well, you asked me. I don't. Ask Roy. He's the one that made the choices. I think it baffled everyone, didn't it? The irony being is that towards the end of the game, it was actually the most positive I've seen him. But I think that's because he'd made a mistake, and it took him 75 minutes to realise it. But there you go. If you're going to score goals, you need strikers on, and you need to give them the supply. And I don't think we do either at the minute. We don't have our strikers on or give them the supply.
Jel, same question to you, okay? And before I give you the breaking news, in case you're not aware, okay? And I'll really, Grant, I will come to you in a minute, I promise, okay? Jel, why did we leave our two best strikers, our known goal scorers, on the bench on Friday night?
I'm slightly confused. Bats hasn't scored many goals for us, and Ben Teki doesn't score goals for us.
Which is why I said.
Are you talking about them two?
Yeah,
Are you talking about them two? That's why they're on the fucking bench, because they don't score goals. It's as simple as that. We're obviously trying something new. I don't know whether we can have Ben Teki at centre back. He's decent in the air. He's a bit faster, and I reckon a tiny bit more mobile than Cahill and especially Dan.
Well, he'd never score an own goal.
Well, it's I'm past caring, and if you want me to try and reason with why they're on the bench, you can't reason with Roy, so I don't really care.
Well, we're going to do Roy in super detail. Keep your powder dry, Joe, because I'm coming back to you in a minute. Grant, was there any logical reason to what happened on Friday night with the team selection?
No. There wasn't. I mean, two guys above me, like the Brady Bunch on the screen here, they've summed it up, haven't they? They really have. I mean, we alluded to a centre-back going centre-forward. Well, Chris Coleman did it for us, didn't he? Why don't we try that? There was absolutely no rhyme or reason for the team they put out.
Danny Butterfield.
The perfect hat trick.
Yeah, but both of them were chances created for them. That is where the only people scoring our goals are the wingers. They're taking it for themselves. They're not actually creating the chances for the striker.
When he brought Ben Teki on, didn't he take Andros off?
Yeah, Teki off. The person he hit the ball with his head. Take them off. That's bullshit.
I mean, for me, that was like, well, this is awkward.
Listen, I've got to say some hellos again. Chris Young, I can see that. I can see your comments in there. Matt E. Cannon, great to have you in the Predictions League. Andy Stacey, Paul Grant, Tim Richards. Hello, mate. Right, Jel, in case you haven't, I know you've been a very busy boy over the last few days. I've got some very good news for you. Evening Standard reports, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you're probably all aware of what I'm about to read to Jel, but Jel's getting this as a virgin. He has no idea what I'm about to read to him. So, breaking news from the Evening Standard. Christian Benteke has been offered a Palace contract extension as the club enters in talks with multiple players. Crystal Palace are in talks with a number of players over new contracts, including Christian Benteke. Palace have 12 senior players, as well as the manager, Roy Hodgson, out of contract next summer, with Patrick Van Aanholt, Andros Townsend, Gary Cahill, all among that number. Hodgson is confident those players are keen to stay and will stay at Selhurst Park. They are also aware of the danger of letting their contract run down.
They are keen to stay. Well, Benteke must be keen to stay, because the thing is, he gets a fortune and he don't have to score. I mean,
he doesn't have to play half the time.
Any goals? He ain't scored any goals, right? He's a part-time player, and this week you're literally giving him. He's gone down from 6 figures down to, I don't know, 45 quid a gun. Then we've got to play a kid instead of him. I'm telling you now, we have got to play a kid. The other thing about it, right, as well, is Benteke. He is a one-trick pony. We all know that, and we've given him the benefit. How many benefits of the doubt do you have to give someone before you just go, do you know what? We had to bite the bullet. Just put, we've got Max Meyer. I'd rather play Max Meyer up there. At least I know that when he gets the ball, he's capable of putting a decent ball through, or taking half a chance, or taking a shot. I mean, he's on £100,000 a week, and is he even playing with the 23s? I mean, that's scandalous. That's absolutely scandalous. For me, you've got to get a kid. If we're going to take off the only crosser in the side and put Ben second, that's a complete waste of time. We should have put a kid up there and just played it to his feet, because that's the only. I played ticky-tacky football now. I've done it everyone. No one's allowed to head the ball anymore.
Can you, Grant? I'm coming to you right now. Jill, can you remember off the top of your head what he was actually earning a week, Benteke?
Well, when he first signed for us, the deal was worth £64 million, and if you believe that the figure was a £32 million sign-on fee over 4 years, £32 million in wages, equates to 135 a week. I mean, that's 135. I'm pretty sure that's without bonuses. That's without goals. Well, the first year he'd have earned a fortune, 17 goals. Second year, we've got to save money, but second year, third year, fourth year. I mean, I don't know. Like literally, unless I'm stunned that we're even going to be talking to him.
Okay. Well,
literally, to invest in this, we've just gone and bought Eze, right? Who is the geezer's a baller, an absolute baller. I'm already all over him like a rash. The geezer, we almost have to build a side right around him and around Riederbilt. They're proper ballers, and if Roy can't see that, off ski, don't care.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't understand his South London twang, he actually said £135,000 a week. Grant, in all seriousness, okay, whilst I only read that out to set him up, okay, because I just knew, you know what he's like. You set him up, he spins like a top for the next 10 minutes, and that's why we love him on the show. But in all seriousness, is the logical reason why we're offering him a contract extension is to get value for him when we do sell him?
Who will buy him? The reason we give him an extension because in 10 days' time he hits 30, so he's made for the club. He's like 30.
Actually, I didn't hear what you said there, Grant. You broke up at the end. What did you just say? Repeat. What
no, 10 days' time he hits the age of 30, so he's joined the over 30 club. He belongs at Palace, doesn't he? That's why he's there. He earns 116 a week, by the way.
Is it 116 a week?
116.
Because that was a renegotiated part of his contract to come down, and to come down again, he's going to have to go down to 50 or 60 quid.
I don't know about
anyway,
this is weeks for that money.
Honestly, I just can't see. I can't see that. Do you know what? I need to just say one thing, because we're going to gloss over this otherwise. We had a conversation, Nick, before the Burnley game about a player, right? And I said he always scores against us, and if he scores against us, we lose. Who was that player?
Okay, and it's also, and I hate to say that we've had this before because we have done it too long. Callum Wilson.
No. Who scored the goal? The Burnley goal. Chris Wood.
Oh, Chris Wood.
Chris Wood. When he scores against us, we don't win. It's as simple as that. We had the chance to get that geezer 1.5 million quid, I think it was. He left Millwall for. Yeah. Now that geezer would literally. He's the kind of player that we need. Pace, heading, aggro, chasing down. He is everything that we don't have up front.
Yeah,
but you used to say that about Callum Wilson when he was at Bournemouth. But you used to say that about Callum Wilson at Bournemouth.
Yeah, but Callum Wilson's on a fortune now at Newcastle. But look at him, put him in a half-decent attacking side, a side that can a side that can attack with intent. Look at him. What's he on? 9 goals now. Is he top scorer? 7, 8, 9 goals, something like that.
Ian.
Right, you got two. It comes back to, it doesn't matter. As I said, I've said this numerous times. We're gonna have Jesus up front, but we don't put any crosses in. So he's never. It's never. I thought it was topical around this time of year. Listen, it's with Wilson. Wilson's a type. We do not have strikers that can make their own goals. We have strikers that rely on service. If you had Chris Wood, I think Chris Wood's better player than Benteke, better threat. But the service would dry up for him. So I mean, I think it's a moot point. Burnley played to his strengths. Okay, if you put Benteke in the Burnley team, he'll probably start scoring goals. Wilson's a different kettle of fish, because Wilson can actually make his own goals. He can win the ball, turn players, and then run a goal, as well as thrive on the surface. I don't think that is where we are struggling. We do not have strikers that can make their own chances, create their own chances. Some of that is down to Hodgson, and I don't want this to turn into a Hodgson, beat up session, because we've said it enough. People are now starting to realise what we've been saying for months about him and about the dross that he's churning out. People would rather we lose and put effort in, and at the minute, the only effort we're putting in is chasing, and defending. And then we said it again on here so many times. If you play that way and you go a goal down, it's very hard then, because we don't have any creativity other than maybe Wilf and Eze on the wing. But their creativity is by and large beating players on the floor. It's not about service. It's not about it's the final ball. If those two had a final ball, they wouldn't be with us anyway. Actually, to be fair, I use a winger, but when we relied on him, he created a lot of his goals. He didn't rely on the service. He actually created his goals, and I think that is the fundamental difference and what we're missing, and why we're not picking people like Wilson up or other players of that similar ilk that have got a proven ability. It bemuses me.
Okay, well, I'm just going to pick up on a couple of points in the chat. Okay, Andy Ball saying, "Right, Andy, how you doing, buddy? With Newcastle now reporting 5 cases of COVID in the squad, should the game have gone ahead? Make that 6 now, because I'm also in now self-isolation. So no tongue from you lot tonight, please, because you're not going to get them. Okay, I don't care how many times." And Laurie Scott says, talking about Jesus, apparently he didn't like crosses or something. I don't know what.
I know.
Okay. And Stephen Isles is saying Mitchell should be back in the team. Guys out there, should we be offering Christian Benteke a contract extension? Are we doing it for financial reasons? So if some other club comes in, we do get a value for him, or do we just let him go on a free? Yes, Jill.
He had an extension already, and we put a price tag on him of £8 million. And we couldn't. No one come in for him for that. So I just can't see. It'll be another one. It'll be like, what do we do? Do we offer Sacco? Who's just a liability? We offer him another deal. It's just this mentality of keeping duds now. It's beyond. It's not even beyond a joke. It's beyond pathetic. We are 7 years in the Premier League, right? And our infrastructure, our playing infrastructure for a team is absolutely catastrophic, like quite literally catastrophic. When you have got, I can't think of his name now, purely because he never hits the headlines ever. Newcastle's record signing. He hadn't scored.
Joe Linton.
2 goals in 45 games. What do you do? Yeah, Burnley hadn't won whenever played Palace. Oh, that's the way. Don't worry, played Palace. They sort that record out. Newcastle never win on a Friday in the Premier League since 2013. Don't worry, played Palace. Sort that out. Linton couldn't kick himself in a sleeping bag like Benteke. Don't worry about that. So play Palace. Seriously, it's the same bullshit all the time, and it's the same bullshit. This is the thing, right? How narrow are we playing at times? Our strength has always been play it wide. I don't know if anyone realises this. The last 2 games, and I've watched the majority of them, right, even on bad streams the other night, but nobody is taking any notice because there's no vision in the middle, right, of Klein staying out wide and making runs out wide. Everyone else is just cutting in from the left-hand side. If Will doesn't stay out on the left-hand side, everyone's cutting in. All of a sudden, we've become so narrow. We are not Arsenal. We cannot go through the middle of any team at all. That's as simple as that. We aren't good enough. Our strength is down the left-hand side. Our strength is sitting on a bench with Tyrick Mitchell, a pace there who can cross. PVA, I'm done with PVA. He has too many chances as well.
Yeah,
he's a crap defender, and unless he's going forward, he isn't very good. PVA's first fault, right, and this is, I think, a Hodgson trait because it's come out too many times on social media, right? is that unless Wilf is with him, his first initial thought is to get the ball, look up, and hit it backwards. Hey, just watch him. Watch him. He's just every single.
They all do it. Eze's the only one that looks to. Well, I say that when he came and the first few games, it was forward, and that's what we were saying we liked about him. He's having that trained out of him already. Every time he's getting the ball, he's now trying to recycle it, and we are so slow for an alleged counter-attacking team. We are so slow at transitioning the ball. You know, and if we do get ahead of their midfield four and break the lines, we wait for them to come back. It's just something has to change. Something has to change. We have to get rid of a lot of the dead wood, as the boys have already said. Said Grant, picked up on it. The Friday squad was the oldest ever to play in the Premier League or something. Klein, I didn't really want him back at the club. He's not convinced me so far defensively at all. I understand what you're saying about him making the runs. PV8 certainly. I would be interested to see when Mitchell's fit as to whether how quickly Walden Mitchell get back in there, because they're the best two defender fullbacks we got in a minute. But the problem with Roy is he goes with his favourites.
Okay, right. I'm going to jump in, boys, if you don't, because I don't want to forget the people out there. There's lots of people watching this show live, and I thank each and every one of you, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining the Red and Blue Review, giving up your Sunday night. And how mad are you after back-to-back defeats, and you're still joining us? So, heartfelt thank you. A couple of points in there. Nigel Rose said, "Sorry, I'm late, chaps. What have I missed?" Well, Nigel, I broke the news that Palace are talking to Benteke about an extension to his contract, and of course that went down well with Jel. Summer Kirsten says, "Well said, Jel." I don't know which one he was talking about, and a couple of others have said, "Well said, Jel." They're actually agreeing with you. So it's Steve Chandler said, "Well said, Jel." Totally agree. Now listen, we've got lots to go through, of course, but I think let's just touch on this before I go to the main topic. Palace are winless, and all of their top flight matches played on a Friday, drawn 5, lost 7, and they have lost 14 of their last 16 Premier League fixtures without Wilfred Zaha being in the team. Grant, your turn, okay? Why can't we win on a bloody Friday, and why are we just showing everybody what everybody else in the Premier League is saying we are a one-man team? Is that fair?
The Friday stat is just coincidence. Sorry, I don't get into that at all. The one-man team, I've never been a fan of that saying. Don't agree with it. But I was watching yesterday, and you saw Eze. He's like a bright light for us, but he is having his game played out of him, I think, by the management, if you like. You could see he was getting the ball, and he was looking for Wilf straight away. He was looking for that fast ball to the front left. It wasn't there because Wilf weren't there. So
nor was the wing back, Ron.
Not so much a one-man team, but a one-move team, if you like. They always look for that. Person. He wasn't there. He's at home taking his aspirins and looking after his baby, wasn't he? Silence.
No, but I mean, I just say I don't know if you heard what I just said. I mean,
No,
you said he was looking for Wilf, but he would have been looking for a wing back making a run as well. PVA wasn't doing those runs. Tyrick would have done those runs, and the only reason that PVA or Tyrick weren't doing those runs is if they were told not to.
Yeah,
the natural instinct of a footballer is to just, don't matter who they are. Damien Delaney, screamer in the top corner against Liverpool, screamer. Damien Delaney scored one of the longest runs, 38 yards, I think, when he played. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is the natural instinct for a footballer is to score goals, no matter where they are, right? And we're not doing that.
We're not showing it.
But the other thing is as well, though, Grant. The other thing, what's is more frustrating, is that twice when PVA got through and he tried to shoot when he had just a pass across the area, a pass, not a screaming shot, we score.
Yeah,
He's
Joe with that one. He shot looked like it was a pass in the end. And it was Gaz. It was like Gazza in the World Cup, wasn't it?
Yep.
Right, Grant, we're just going to drop you down and bring yourself straight back in again. Boys, I want to come on to another subject. And I know you just touched on the PVA thing. There is something I noticed today. PVA, if you're watching this, stay off social media after a defeat. You're turning it into a more of a toxic place, especially Twitter, than it ever is. But the Palace people that have responded to you out there, some of the stuff that has been said to PVA is just subhuman. It's just subhuman, some of the stuff. If you go on to his post today, and then it's just awful, some of the stuff. And,
a lot of it's instinctive, Nick. A lot of it's instinctive. You know, tell me what he said. Tell me what he said, and I'll tell you what I would have said.
Something about Sunday blessings. That's all he said with the hands like that. Sunday blessings. And some prick came back and said, "The only blessing is, mate, you ain't fucking playing today." Really? And you're a Palace fan? You're a sad, sad man. Okay, so anyway, so you alluded to the fact that PVA good going forward. It's crap coming back. He's leaving.
Oh, he's gone. Has he? Someone's PVA's pulled his plug gel.
He's got a stress.
What you're talking about?
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Who?
You.
Did I drop out?
Yeah, you froze. It was. I tell you what, it was Benteke-esque. You froze like that.
So what I was talking about was, I don't know how much of that you heard then. In that case,
nothing.
Did you not? Right. So you've been going on about PVA bombing forward, players out of position. Like PVA, when he goes forward, there's a space in behind. Newcastle score from that. Okay. But that surely is the manager's job to stop him doing that, okay, especially at particular times. So the main topic of conversation this evening, gentlemen, okay, is going to be what to do about the subject of Roy Hodgson. Out there in Facebook land, I want your opinion. Just one word, in or out. And when Grant comes back, I'm aware that he's been carrying out a poll on his page today, and I'll be interested to see the results of that in a minute. Ian, what do we do about the issue that is Roy Hodgson?
Out. Don't get me wrong. I think, I will just, if anyone says, be thankful for what you've got, I'll just say that's yesterday's saying, and the season before that saying, and the season before that, and the season before that. Everyone keeps going on about it. Let's look forward. That's the mentality we need in this club, and the mentality we don't have as fans. I'm happy that I've said it. I think we're going to be safe. Roy's done a good job. Roy's done as good a job as, and for all those haters out there who think I've got it in for him all the time, I don't. I don't have it in it for Roy. I think there comes a point in time when someone can only do so well, so much, and I think people that think Hodgson is the Messiah. That was another.
Not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Well, it's another festive reference for you, Jeremy. He's not, and I thank him for what he's done for the club. I thank him for giving us the stability that we so desperately needed. I thank him for the majority of times giving us the solidity that we've needed, but I'm seeing, and I don't go on social media a lot, but because of the examples that Nick gave earlier. What I am seeing are a lot of people now who have been backing Roy and now getting fed up, and they're not getting fed up with Roy per se. They're getting fed up with the way we are playing under Roy, and ultimately there is only one person responsible for that. So. He's out for me. I think it'll be at the end of the season. I think we need a plan. We need to be making targets. We need to be making approaches for people. I don't know if are we going to talk about who now, Nick?
Yeah, we'll do that
later on.
Grant, welcome.
I think we need to be proactive now, and I'd be seriously upset if we come to the end of the season and he goes and we've got no one ready to step in.
I'm sure we had all these conversations last year, and you'll be going at the end of this last season, okay? And it never happened. Grant, welcome back, mate. Your page has been running a poll today on the Hodgson in and Hodgson out scenario. Could you give me some live feedback, please, mate?
Yeah, I've just checked it. Sorry I dropped out. I could hear you guys fine. Wasn't working mine for some reason. 115 votes we got, just did it this afternoon, and 72% of them said yes to Roy stepping aside. I asked for no comments, nothing at all, a yes or no, not necessarily when it's going to be. But 83 to yes, step aside. 32 people said no.
Okay, well, if you were to pick somebody now, Grant, okay, and I've seen your comments about Martin Niche in the chat saying about Pochettino. Yeah, and I know you were only joking, but you still need to give your head a wobble, mate. Yeah, obviously that would be something way out of our league, but who would be for you, Grant, and why?
But this is the thing, isn't it? You can create a problem, can't you? But you can't necessarily provide the solution. Yeah, Roy out. Okay, say Roy out, but who is out there? Who is out there? I mean, there's the same old names come up. Deitch comes up. I mean, I wouldn't leave Burnley myself if I was him. He's on a nice little number there. He's done well. If they go down, he might want to leave. Who's out there? I just don't know. But yeah, but was it from the Bournemouth manager that he's there?
Eddie Howe.
I said Eddie Howe. I mean, he said I couldn't get the bloody Frank out of it. I always said we'd have a new around Christmas, New Year. He's going to have his 6 months off. He's going to come in. Clubs are desperate. They need a manager. He'll just step in, walk in. I'm the saviour. But there's just no one out there. You can pump the names there like Pochettino. Great, wouldn't it? But that ain't going to happen.
Well, I've got a couple more suggestions before we carry on, guys. Okay, I've got a question for everybody out in the chat. Okay, there's loads of you watching. Listen, with social distancing and everything else, you can't go out to your winter pantomimes this year. If this crew that's sitting in front of you was to appear in a Red and Blue Review Christmas panto, what character would they be and why? Okay, please, I'm going to read every.
Can I just put myself up for Scrooge?
I thought it was Widow Twanky.
What characters, and don't forget Lucy is in the background, ladies and gentlemen, and so she needs to be involved in this. What characters for the Christmas Red and Blue panto would they be and why? Yes, Jill?
No, I'm talking about Hodgson. No. Didn't even ask me.
Hang on, I'm coming to you now. So Hodgson is your...
Enough. He's gone. I don't care anymore. I literally don't care. Just get Dougie in. Get anybody in, right? Who understands. First, for me, right? If a 72-year-old geezer came onto a site and went, "Sorry, mate, you've got to slow up a little bit. You've got to do this," I'd be like, "What? Don't think so, mate. Off you go." Some other fella come in with new ideas that made my life a little bit easier, made it a little bit more enjoyable, made it more palatable, had a little bit more ambition. I go, hang on a minute, he's going somewhere, this geezer. I like this bloke. I don't think a lot of our players even like him. You might get the virtual signalling. Yeah, Sir Roy, this, that, and the other, can drive his sheep through Croydon and do whatever he likes. I ain't having it. He's had enough time for me. We play boring, turgid, defensive crap with the most attacking side we've ever had. I ain't having it at all. He's basically nullified Wilf. He has single-handedly, for me, nullified one of the most attacking players in Europe. I bet you look at his stats now, they are absolutely toilet, Wilf. 2 years ago, he was on fire, looking at a 50, 60, 70 million pound move. We couldn't get 30 million quid for him now. And there's only one reason for that, I'm afraid. The other thing as well, going for another manager. I'm one of the protagonists on Twitter and social media saying about Pochettino. I do not understand why people think that Pochettino, we're in the Premier League, right? That they think he's just going to step into Man United, or if he really was going to go to a massive club, he'd be going to PSG, even Barca, Real Madrid. He's only had two or three teams. The guy done miracles with Southampton, turning him into a decent side, use their kids out their academy. There is no reason why we cannot employ that man and put him on a performance-related play like Roy gets a little bit. What is it? Is it $1 million bonus every time you stay in the Premier League? Give him one.
Is that what he's on? I didn't know that.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what he got the first time he saved us, $1 million. Would imagine it's written in every single time. We're turning into. Do you know what? Again, 7 years ago, someone said, "What do you want to be when we get out?" I want to be Stoke.
Yeah.
And we're Stoke. I fucking hate it. It's rubbish. It is absolutely rubbish. And but we got a better side than Stoke. We've always had a better side than Stoke. And for me, I think we're missing it. All we've been missing in the last 5 years with that squad that we've got, because we had MacArthur, we've had the nucleus of that side has been there for nearly 5 years, right? But we've not had an exciting manager. We've not had an ambitious manager, and a manager to take us forward in the league, forward on the field, forward in sticking your chest out and just getting up there and trying. You know, we give the odd bloody nose, but we should be doing that all the time with some of the players.
Regularly, yeah.
You know,
regularly, yeah,
it's just it shouldn't be this. You know, you hear stuff about. You know, I heard the story about Puncheon, whether it's true or not. You know, about him being told he wasn't even told he weren't captain. Someone else told him. I think Luca was captain, and he went up to Hodgson. This is what I've heard. Complete hearsay. And Hodgson said, "I don't give a shit. I don't have to justify you. I don't have to justify it to you or anybody," which is true. But you know, for me, you hear too many stories coming out of Liverpool and other places where he's been, where apparently, you know, Liverpool players were frightened to play at home underneath him. Too much pressure, defensive, can't do this, can't do that. I've had enough. I've had enough of him. Honestly, I'd rather have as much as of a bit of a backward step it would be get Dougie in, and he'd be more in touch with the players. He'd be more in touch with the younger players. I can't see a 72-year-old geezer motivating a 23-year-old. I can't see it.
And you're not going to get it. Grant, can I just come to you in a second? A couple of things I must do because before they disappear off my screen. First of all, Greg Ellis is watching. Greg from the Red and Blue Review family. Good evening, mate. We love you. We miss you. Come and say hello to us.
Well, mate.
Okay. Yeah, I hope the twins are well and your lovely lady is good as well. Answers to the Red and Blue Review pantomime, guys. Some interesting ones. Okay. Jel was Widow Twanky. Scrooge. Laurie Scott said somebody must be dopey. Okay. And Graham Kitcher answered him, said, yes, that's Nick. Nick and Jel's the ugly sisters. Yeah, I think we can. Martin Nash, she's saying all I can think about is the back end of a horse. I don't know who's referring to there. Knickers buttons. Gel back end of a donkey. Yeah, all of this. Okay, Snow White. This is the best one of all. Listen to this one. Snow White and the Four Dwarfs. Lucy is our Snow White. Can you imagine the Four Dwarfs?
Grant Stock is grumpy. I'm probably dopey. And you're Stock.
Guys, you are talented out there in Red and Blue Review, and we love every one of them. And you're making us laugh. This is what the show's all about. This is why we do the show. Right, Grant, Saunders, over to you.
Go on, Grant.
Yeah, sorry, just carrying on from what Joe was going on a long time about. For me, Roy doesn't have the dressing room now, doesn't have the team. It really hit me when we played Wolves and you saw Wolves, the team, all huddled together with the manager. And Sunday team just kicking the ball to each other. I mean, we're going into an important part of the game. The manager down there doing, I don't know what. I don't know what Ray Lewington was doing, but for me, it's been lost completely. It's been lost for quite a while. So bringing up the news about Puncheon, he was Roy is like that in the dressing room. He is, I don't care. You're a commodity to me. He doesn't care about them personally. It's just he manages. Yeah, he's there to do a job. Yeah. But yeah, we definitely not got a togetherness on the playing field. Definitely. Well, that's throughout the whole.
Do you know when I think we lost that when we got rid of Jedinak? The way that we got rid of Jedinak.
Yeah.
That for me. That was the team
Damo as well.
Spirit. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Think about who we lost at the same time, because your point's well made. Jedi, Damo, and Jules, 3 leaders wrapped up in one. Okay, removed from the first team squad, and we lost the the team ethic at that point, in my opinion.
Winners.
The winners. Yep, Grant, go.
I'll say, when I was at Club 1830 rep, I actually was with O'Twank in the Reps Cabaret.
Why does that not surprise any of us? Okay.
In 1830.
Can I just say as well? I want to know why you guys and why a lot of people think that Pochettino is out. But I'm not having that we're out of his league. I'm not having that. I need someone else to turn around and tell me.
Okay, I'll do it.
Because it comes to money. We pay as good as Spurs. We pay as good as Spurs. Everyone knows that, right?
Jel, yeah, I'll give. I mean, again, great question, perfect question. But I'm going to have a go at answering one. Instead of me answering the question, I'll have a go. Right, a number of reasons. Okay, that guy is lined up next for a big job. Okay, somebody actually said, hang on, let me finish. Somebody suggested on social media only today, okay, under the PVA thread, well, how about Pochettino goes into Manchester United and we get Solskjaer over my dead body? Right, so that's the size job he'll be getting next. He'll be going to a bigger club, Man United, Man City, one of the big Liverpool.
Deal. You're going to go club.
Right, okay, so. And the real answer to your question is basically he will want a huge war chest wherever he goes. Say, for example, let's give it Man United. Man United will spend umpteen billion pound when they get the right person in the job. They know they haven't got the right person in that job at the moment. He's only there as a caretaker. He won't be there next year. I'm telling you now. Somebody like Pochettino, if he was going to be if he was going to be appointed to that job, he will want a huge war chest to be able to take it on, not just for himself, okay, but for players as well. Okay, he will be commanding massive money, Jill. Money that's, you can take it.
Money that Man United don't have.
They don't have, but they'll find, and you know they won't. The difference is we haven't got it, and we won't find it, and that's the difference. Ian,
I agree. Listen, I'd had Pochettino. Don't get me wrong. I think he's great.
So would I.
Right, but I also agree that if we were to find the money for his wages, we wouldn't have the money for the players, and he would want money for the players. He doesn't want to do what he did with Tottenham, take a break, hoping to come back to a bigger club, only then to just drop down with us. So I don't think that's a starter for anyway. For me, it has to be a young, hungry manager that, as the boys have pointed out, needs to command respect, etc., but also be able to deal with, get the best out of probably lower league players or lower level players. And for me, it's got to be Steven Gerrard. He wouldn't command the wages that the likes of Pochettino or someone would, or demands the funds for players that those types of managers would. Even Rafa Benitez, I've seen mentioned, good shout, but he just wants to buy players and players and players, even though he has got a very good record when buying players. So for me, Steven Gerrard, I think, would be, because I think he'd also see us as a stepping stone, and I think it'd be a step up. Rangers are a big club, don't get me wrong, they are a big club, but they're a big club in a poor league, as opposed to being in a mid-team club, mid-league club, actually in the best league pretty much in Europe, if not the world. So I think it'd be a step up for him. I also think it would be just a boost that I know that we might potentially cover more about the academy and everything else moving forward, because there's lots of good things happening on there with the academy and the under 18s and the under 23s, etc.
Should we do that now?
Well, no. We'll do that later on, but another time. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to get at is the setup is starting to bubble up now. They're putting a lot of the laying a lot of the bricks for the foundations. And what we need.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Martin Nusha just said Gerrard would nick Steve Parish's hubcaps.
Okay, all right, but nevertheless, I think Gerrard's worth it.
What, just to nick his hubcaps?
Yeah. No,
Ian Noble saying
I think Gerrard. I think Gerrard is definitely an option, and someone we should, an up and coming manager. He's British as well. Stevie Parish is talking about British players, British this, British that. If Brexit comes along, we're going to struggle. getting the players that we need from abroad because they have to meet far more stringent criteria, with regards to the amount of internationals they've played, etc., etc.
Good point.
So we're going to have to look for young British players.
Okay, Ian Noble saying in the chat, evening, Ian, you want to come on next week, have a chat, and get you on here again? We haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Why would Gerrard come to Palace? He's likely to manage in the Champions League next season. Very good point. Somebody else said, Gerrard, oh no, I'm not reading that.
He's managing in Europe now.
Lee Boyer from Charlton has been mentioned a couple of times.
No, over my dead body.
Okay. Nigel Rose says,
it's like saying Louis Dunk.
Gerrard said, I would go with Gerrard, but would he leave Rangers to come down to us? Ian Noble then said, love Stevie G at Palace, but why would he come here? Lots of good comments. Right, a couple of serious things, if you don't mind. I want to ask a couple of questions in a minute, okay? We're going to come on to questions in a minute. And Ian, you've just alluded, unless anybody's got anything more they want to add on the manager thing. Is there anything else? Jill?
Grant?
No, I'll let you go. Go on.
Okay, I was laughed at the park when I said Gerrard 2 years ago. Just saying. Yeah. Go back, rewind. I said Gerrard. Everyone went out.
Is there? And I remember you doing it as well. Okay. Yeah. I want to touch on a little bit of a serious matter before we move on to questions. And first of all, thank you to everybody in the questions crew. With particular, thank you to Nigel Croucher and Andrew Adams. As always, guys, you are absolute superstars. Very, very serious one. Before I ask you a couple of questions, boys. Sadly, we've lost yet another Crystal Palace fan this week. Okay. I'd like to send our condolences out to the family of Dave Brennan, especially Janice and Sarah, they're lifelong Palace fans. Dave Brennan, rest in peace, mate, from everybody at the Red and Blue Review. And family, I hope you're holding up okay. Back to you were talking about the academy, Ian, and one of the questions from the crew today that said, because of our recent performances, is it time to give the likes of Woods, Banks, Perrick and Street a run in the first team? Jel, I'm going to kick off with you if you don't mind, because I know you've got a particular interest in the kids, and then I'll come to you, Ian.
That sounded bad, didn't it?
Well, actually, yeah.
Oh, here comes Uncle Jel. I've said for ages that we never knew what we had with Aaron, and Tyrick has come in and done just the same. I know we've got Nathan to come back on the right hand side. I always thought that young lad, that Hungbo, would have done well in the midfield for us. I really do. But for me, why Daly was never given a chance. I don't care what people say. Oh, it's a big league. It's this, it's that. It's just, you got to give people the chance when things are going as bad as I'm going to say south, because for me, at the moment with Roy in charge, I think the only way is down, and it's going to and eventually when we get to a certain point, what a confidence we have is going to have gone, and then it will just be another case of someone coming in and firefighting the usual bullshits. And I'm fed up with that. We're 7 years in, and we should not be firefighting. And I can't understand. The mentality of, let's just say, Steve Parish, because not only is he one of our owners, along with Browett, they're fans that have been going for years, that legitimately go to games, legitimately fans. They cannot be sitting there as part of this billionaire gang. The three of them, the two Americans, and all the hundreds of millions that Hoskins, Browett, Long and Parish have got between them, the hundreds of millions. But they cannot be sitting there and be happy about what's going on at our club at the moment. And then we see, just media, like kids coming, 19, 20-year-olds being given chances that we've never heard of before. We write kids off and get rid of them before they've even had a chance. You can't do it on one game, turn into a superstar. You can't do that.
Okay, I'm just gonna give a bit of counterbalance to what you're saying, And boys, this is to you as well. Okay, listening to what Gel's saying, negativity, doom and gloom, we're going down under Hodgson and everything else. Hold on a minute. As a little bit of a counterweight to that, it was only 2 weeks ago on the back of a 4-1 win against Leeds. Are we discussing this simply because we're on back-to-back defeats? Is that why we're having this conversation this evening, or is Gel right, Ian and Grant, that this is more fundamental?
Grant?
We've got some fundamental crap going. We have also to back up something. Jill, it's proved that a little youngster called Wamba Thackeray, Paul got injured. Yeah, he did all right, didn't he? Yeah, we've got more coming through. It's proven what we've got coming through. We need to give these people a chance. Is it doom and gloom? We do have something fundamentally wrong in the club. We said that about 5 times ago with the likes of the 3 players who left, Jedi and the other 2. Sorry,
Jules and Damo.
Yeah, so since then we've lost the changing room. Yeah, we have got fundamental stuff. Do we have to rebuild the club? It's another question. I can't give an answer there. To rebuild, do we have to go down? I would like to say we don't. We can back up another push far too old. So I really lost track of the question was now. But,
okay, is he breaking up for you as well?
We do have issues, Nick. Yeah,
Grant, you're breaking up again, mate. Ian, over to you.
Grant, I heard most of what Grant was saying, but it was just a bit in and out. I tend to agree with a pair of them, to be perfectly honest. But what I would say is that when you've got someone like Mitchell that's proven, that been thrown in and proven, this will be the real test. Is that when he's fit, will he get his place back? Because PVA hasn't earned it. He hasn't earned the place back over Mitchell, because Mitchell did a lot better. But I know that people like Scott Banks and that there have been 3 or 4 of these, and you say under 23s, but a number of them are 19 anyway, playing with training with the first team. So they're clearly starting to look at them, but we've got the wrong person in charge to take that gamble and to actually say we're 2-0 down or we're 2-0 up. Go on, son, that's 20 minutes. Let's see what you can do. He's not Hodgson. Hodgson is risk adverse, and you don't play kids if you're risk adverse.
Very interesting.
I'm just going to go back to that Man United side, right, where they had that. I know they had a great side, but it was built into a good side. They were still kids. Average to half decent players. Nicky Butt wasn't the best player in the world, but he came through. Even Beckham wasn't the best player in the world, but he came through. Paul Scholes, probably the best player out of all of them that came through. Phil Neville, Gary. Who's the better player out of Phil Neville? Half decent. Gary Neville, half decent. They had to build. They had to get the experience, and they kept playing and playing, because what they did is he chucked. Was it 6 or 7 in the same side with a little bit of experience? What they did, what they did with Beckham when they eventually come through, they chucked a Van Nistelrooy in there. Do you know what I mean? You can't just have a whole team of kids.
Gel, I think
experience. But what I'm saying is, you can't ignore the kids, because we've got rid of too many, in my opinion. When I hear people saying, go and watch the 18s, 23s and that. Like, legitimately, we have let a couple of 2 or 3 good players go.
But I'll draw a line under it there, okay? Simply by saying, so everything you just said there, Gel, was, don't forget that they also had a damn good, ambitious manager as well. Okay, that's something I don't think we have
really
got.
He was 1 game away from getting beaten.
Yeah,
it was only us that created that dynasty.
And the other thing I'd like to throw in is just a point that Claire Davies has made. I want to come on to some questions next, but Claire just said Speroni should come back in some sort of form. Okay.
He's already there watching them.
Yeah,
he's
but
already,
through the bushes,
through the gate. Yeah. How
No. He's already there, and I from what I understand, that could well happen.
Good. Okay. Well, I hope that's right. Okay. Right. Question for you. So, Selhurst Park. Thank you, Nigel. Selhurst Park has been placed into Tier 2 area. If you were allocated one of the 2,000 tickets, would you be happy, as things stand with the COVID situation, to attend church now? Ian.
Yep.
Joe.
To go to the game, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
No, okay, Melvy's texting. I'm not watching that shit. No.
Interesting. Grant.
Yeah, of course I'll be there. Yeah.
And I have to say, more than likely, so am I. So would I.
Nick,
Okay. What?
I did a poll on that one as well.
Second. Oh, have you got the results of that ahead?
I have, yeah. 174 people voted. 107 said they yes, they go back, and said no. So 61% said yeah, they go back.
I'm surprised it's as high as that, especially as we have no proven vaccine yet. Go on, John.
My caveat is that if it was football worth watching, if you weren't going to get there and you weren't going to do what people did at the Sunderland game and other games before that, where they're just getting season tickets out of their hand and flicking them on the pitch, why would you want to go and put yourself through that? Can you imagine, right, that the majority of our fans stay to the end? Can you imagine what they would have said at the end of that Newcastle game? Can you imagine the shit they would have got from there? Can you imagine the shit they would have got off because of the lack of ambition and the lack of attacking against a Burnley side that City put 5 past just a couple of days later? The lack of everything, the lack of momentum, the lack of ambition, the lack of every single thing within our club. The lack of we've been going on about a stand for 5 years. Fuck off, just sort it out. Seriously, sort it out. We are such a pretend club. We just go, yeah, we're there. We're only just there. Drives me mad.
Okay.
Really?
Go on. Do you want to say something, Ian?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think going to the game, certainly when there's only 2,000 there, if people are upset, their voices will be heard.
Absolutely.
And I think there's probably got a chance to actually vent your frustration as opposed to saying you can't be bothered, because then you go in there and then you're calling them out.
Yeah. Grant, your thoughts on, have you got anything else you'd like to add on the Sellers Park return?
No, I think the whole way the club hasn't announced anything about what's going on is pretty crap. But then that's good old Palace way of doing things, isn't it? I sort of have an idea what might be going on. I think we might be going towards. It's just going to be a lottery.
It's going to be a ballot. In fairness to the club, you're right. You're right. There's shit and everything, Grant.
First 2 matches I can see it because the club can't get off their asses and get something sorted out. Other clubs have already sorted things out. Because we went the route of actually getting people to pay 100% up for their season, we'll give you a refund down the line. But it's just we've created as a club monster to deal with. That's why they've screwed up with this one. And
I can't argue with that either. The other thing is, Parrish did mention it in his thing that he interviewed he did a couple of weeks ago, that they're working hard behind the scenes, whatever that means. But your communication thing is absolutely right. Grant, on the subject of communication, do you mind if I say we say goodbye to you now, because your line does keep dropping in and out?
Right.
Mate, great. See you next week. Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Cheers, Grant.
Thanks,
ladies and gentlemen, in red and blue review land, would you go back into the stadium now? Are you, with the COVID situation, are you confident enough? I'm sure Palace are putting an awful lot of safety positions and everything else out there. It's only going to be 2,000. But would you go back into Sellers Park now? Okay, are you happy to go? So, do you think it's safe? The vaccine is not available yet, or would you have to wait till the vaccine came available? I'd like to know your thoughts in the chat, boys. Somebody else has asked me a question. Scott Dan, bear in mind he had a bit of a poor game on Monday. Is he still good enough to be classed as a Premier League player?
Who's that to me?
Both of you.
All right, I'll take that. I was singing his praises a couple of weeks ago when we last had a show, because he had stepped up, and then the wheels fell off. The wheels fell off first half at Burnley. Both he and Chiarte looked like Bambi on ice. I mean, that was horrendous to watch. And then he started to slip back into. He's always been overconfident with his passing out from the back, and up until recently, it's worked out for him. but boy, he can put us in trouble with some of his passing.
He thinks he's a bit Beckenbauer, doesn't he?
Yeah, man. But yeah, look, he's coming to the end. He's had he's done well to come back from the injury that he got. As innocuous as it was at the time,
Absolutely.
it was a bad injury, and he's done well to come back from it. So listen, you can't begrudge him a couple of ropey games, but I don't think he'll be with us at the end of the season.
Jill, you got a thought?
Yes.
Tompkins over Dan, would you say?
Well, yeah, I mean, Scott's his performances are sporadic at the moment, but he's been good for us. He's been good, and he's under massive pressure, isn't he? I mean, he's just at the moment those two at centre back are the best that we've got at the moment. I mean, Sacco can come in, but you only got to look at him. Someone just looks at him grumpily, and he'll be injured and away for 3 months. So I don't know. I mean, when Tompkins looking at getting back,
Is he back in training now, Ian?
I think they're all back in training, but the problem is that Tompkins is a bit like a Lamborghini Countach, right? When he's going. He is sublime, but he's always on fucking jacks being repaired. He's always breaking down, and you have a certain love for a player, knowing what they're capable of. But there comes a time when you have to say, do you know what? I think our time is coming to an end. And I can see Tompkins, because Tompkins' contract's up at the end of the year, isn't it?
I haven't got it. Normally, I have that information.
So
I haven't got it.
I can't see us unless he's willing to agree a big reduction in wages. I can't see us keeping hold of him. I just wish. I mean, we've had some good games out of him. And I wish him and Dan all the best. Whatever happens at the end of this.
So you can see that if it is the last year for Dan, and it is the last year for Tompkins, and it is the last year for Sacco, and it is
Cahill.
For Cahill.
Cahill's go on. Cahill, he's good enough.
Yeah, no, he is good enough. He is good enough. But the thing is, what he won't want to do is to turn into a has-been and just be mugged off every. He is what Gary Cahill will end up being brilliant for us. Is an emergency or a sub if we need another to back up. If we're winning 2-1 with 15 minutes to go, he's going to come on and he's going to act like a captain. He's going to act like someone that's going to headbutt your foot, and it's just going to be. You can't keep expecting, at his age, to be running around 90 minutes against pretty much Champions League strikers. It don't work.
I tell you what, Joe. With Cahill, even if his playing days come to an end, we have got to keep him as a coach. And then he's got manager written. You cut him in half, he'll have manager, through him.
See, this is the way that I see.
Matty Cannon's just said exactly the same thing, Ian, in the chat.
How was he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well done,
Go on,
Matt.
I just see Gary Cahill at his age, and he's coming to our club, and he's just been our best centre back, and that sort of it shouldn't. We should have
be that way.
We should have a 25-year-old. And I've said this for ages. We every year I say we need to get rid of between 4, 5, 6, 7 players, and every year we seem to offer these contract extensions. But eventually, they've got to stop because they just will literally be too old. So a blend of experience is having 5, 6, 20, 21, 24-year-olds in the side, and then a couple of old uns, 3 old uns, or like 27, 28, and then a couple of 30s. But
so that's the Man United example you used earlier, wasn't it?
That's what I'm saying is you have to be clever enough to realise what you've got, and you have to have a little bit of guile about you. You have to have a little bit of, and like you're saying about risk. You have to take a risk every now and then. You know, even if it's only, you can't just go, there's 3 minutes, go out there and smash the world. You can't do that. You literally cannot do that. And the other thing about Roy is that he literally can't do what other managers do and just go, do you know what? You've had the worst 45 minutes I've ever seen. Have a bath and get someone else on.
Do you know what? Matty Cannon's just come up with another good shout, and this is completely
Matty's into football anyway, which is
right,
why
completely left field about Rio Ferdinand. Now, the boy only lives at Farmer Park. You know, he is someone that talks. I know he's got his punditry and everything else, but again, as a coaching role, or maybe on a scouting mission, which surely we could be tapping someone like that up as well.
Why is that? When he literally could be going to either West Ham or Man United if that was the line of work that he wanted to go down. But he sees himself as a pundit.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not, but you know,
but he can earn a very good living doing what he's doing now, without the crap that comes with being a manager, without turning into an Alan Pardew where he was Super Al and now he's a complete cock.
Yeah,
you can't do that. If you win Zola at Chelsea, he was loved, and manager rubbish. Get gone. Every single person that comes back, there'll be in 5 years' time. There'll be scousers going, Gerrard's got to manage Liverpool. You can guarantee that it'll fall on his arse. You can't. Managers are managers. That's the thing. If you're a manager, you're born a manager.
I'd like to see Gary Neville give him another chance somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, Gary Neville's a very, very intelligent player, really intelligent player, and he can read a game. But can he read a team? That's what I'm saying. Good managers, they come along very rarely.
I think, in Neville's case, I think he made the massive mistake in going to a culture of football that he just didn't understand anyway. I think with English football, I think it'd be more successful. But whether or not that'll happen, I don't know. But it was just a good shout from Matty that I thought, actually, do you know what? There are a number of players that give it that talk well about the game, and maybe they could potentially. That's why I actually had no respect for Steven Gerrard as a player, as a human being, but
the guy was captain of England, won a European, he won everything. He won everything. He's a European Championship and a World Cup. Steven Gerrard's and the league, of course, thanks to us. But he's the guy's a natural born leader, and you can understand that if he.
But there are plenty of natural born leaders. I mean,
right, boys, we're gonna have, because of the time constraints, we're gonna, and the fact.
We were just starting.
I know, you listen, ladies and gentlemen, out in Red and Blue Review Land, we have done a different style of show tonight, where we've had a great in-depth conversation about all different aspects. Is that your preferred option, or do you prefer a regular review and a long, drawn-out review? Tell us in the chat. I'm reading every single comment that goes through. Who's your preferred centre-back pairing? Because you can tell by these two that they can't agree on it. What's your thoughts? Put it in the chat.
We've got any centre-backs, that's why.
We've got loads of centre. We've got too many centre-backs. That's the problem. Okay, what do you think? So, did you enjoy the slightly different...
too many contacts.
The slightly different way we did things tonight? Let us know in the chat, because I want to read your comments. Boys, we have West Brom, I believe it's 12 o'clock on Sunday. Okay. Are you confident of a victory? Ian Lyons, go.
For West Brom, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Jel Holyoke, go.
No.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts in the chat, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me what you predict a score for me. What do you think? Ladies and gentlemen out there in Red and Blue Review Land, I thank you so much for joining us on the back of a double defeat. Ian Lyons, Joe Holyoke, Grant Saunders and Lucy Usher. I can't do it without you guys. I love you all very much indeed. Please stay safe. Keep away from me, because I'm now self-isolating. Wear your damn mask. Wear your damn mask. Wear your damn mask. On behalf of me, Nick Philpott, take care, stay safe, and good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Night, guys.